All right, so we're here for the War Eagle conditioning drill now. Okay, I'm going to go through this thing so we're all on the same page with it. It's actually pretty simple, but um, if you've never done it before, it can sound a little bit complex and confusing, but it's really not. Very easy, very quick. Let me move my screen here so everybody can see the. I guess I'll go right here for now. War Eagle conditioning drill. The purpose of it is to develop a base level of game-like conditioning. It's good for all sports. Okay, this is great for just developing a general foundation of conditioning that will serve you well in any sport that you decide to play. It's not just for football, even though it's done on a football field. It's for any and all sports. It's also got some added benefits. Number one, it's very quick. You'll be done with it very quickly. It's easy to coordinate. It's great for developing overall team accountability, and you'll see here in a minute how that works. It's also great for developing unity and camaraderie, and it's also a great way to get some indicators of who you can and cannot trust when the game is on the line. So it serves several purposes. The most important one is it gets our kids in good shape, but it does a lot of other things too that I know that are important to coaches. So anyway, War Eagle conditioning drill. What you'll need to do this drill, you'll need 8 cones. You'll need 2 whistles, and the whistles are optional. If you have a loud voice, that's fine too. Just works a little better with whistles if you have one, but if not, it's not the end of the world. And you'll need at least one stopwatch or some type of iPhone that has a stopwatch on it, or somewhere you can keep time down to the exact second. That's going to be very important because we're going to use this to compete within the groups. So, for example, the morning groups are going to compete with each other, and they'll be competing with the afternoon groups as well. So, it's important that we keep that time down to the exact second so that we can get an accurate idea of who's winning the competition portion of Team Chest T workouts. Okay, I'll explain all that in just a minute. It'll make more sense as I go. Okay, field setup. If you're trying to set up your field here, okay, you'll see I've got 8 cones. 60 yards of field is what you'll need. This is both the start line and the finish line. I'll explain that in a moment. I've got 2 cones at the start and the finish line. I've got two sets of cones, or I've got a set of cones in 20-yard increments after that. So 2 at 20, 2 at 40, 2 at 60. Okay. So when you set your field up, that's what it should look like. To organize it, okay, and this is for set 1, okay, you'll have your players here, your athletes. I've got 18 people right here, the dots, and for demonstration purposes, I've got them color-coded. So I've got the black group, I've got the maroon group, and I've got silver group, 18 kids. I would recommend 6 lines. You need at least 3 different groups, okay, in order for this drill to work. If you have 12 people, then you'll have 4 lines of 3. If you have 3 people, you'll have 1 line of 3. I mean, there's got to be at least 3 groups for this thing to work. They don't have to necessarily be even if you have an odd number of kids, but you need at least 3 groups. So you'll need a black, a maroon, and a silver group in order for this drill to work. If you run them in groups of 2, your time will be shorter and it'll be unfair to the other group. So you got to have at least 3 groups. Since most of us have 18 kids, I've got 18 sitting here lined up. All right. Coach 1 is at the start line and the finish line on one side of the field. Coach 2 for set number 1 is at 60 yards on the opposite on the opposite side of the field. The reason I like to do the opposite side is because if Coach 2 is standing over here, then these kids here are going to get the most coaching and talking to. With one coach on the other side, now these kids are also getting some feedback as well. So I like to do that. It's definitely not mandatory at all, but that's just the way I like to do it. Anyway, there's your organization for set 1, okay? And it'll be 4 sets of 60. So here's what I've done, okay? To make it simpler, or more simple rather, I've taken 18 players off, and this black dot here represents that entire group of black, okay? The maroon one represents all the maroon group, and the silver represents all the silver group, okay? Anyway, Coach 1 here at the start line, Coach 2 at the 60-yard mark. Coach 1 will blow the whistle. When Coach 1 blows a whistle, everybody in the black group will sprint to the 60-yard increment. And I'll show you this in action here in just a minute, okay? When the last athlete from the black group crosses the 60-yard line, Coach 2 will blow the whistle. When the maroon group hears Coach 2 blow the whistle, all of the maroon group sprints down the field for 60 yards. When the last athlete from the maroon group crosses 60 yards, Coach 2 will again blow the whistle, and everybody from the silver group will sprint the 60 yards, okay? Once the last athlete from the silver group crosses the line, Coach 2 will blow the whistle again, and that will send the black group back, okay, where Coach 1 will blow the whistle when the last member from the black group crosses the line, and so on and so forth. And you'll do that 4 times, okay? 4 total reps, okay? So in other words, you're running 240 yards, but you're doing it in 4 separate sprints. Let me show you what it looks like here, okay? I'll do the whole set right here. So set 1 is 4 reps times 60 yards, okay? So Coach 1, make sure everybody's ready, blows the whistle, tweet. So here we go. Now we got everybody from the black group running. When they hit the 60-yard line, the last athlete crosses, Coach 2 blows the whistle, tweet, and that sends the maroon group. When the last athlete from maroon crosses, tweet, and that sends the silver group. When the last athlete from the silver group crosses, then we go back, tweet. Now black's coming back down. When the last athlete crosses, tweet, so on and so forth. Tweet. Last athlete crosses, Coach 1 blows the whistle to send him back. Tweet. Tweet. Now, this is important as Coach 2 sends him back. Tweet, Coach 1 blows the whistle. Tweet, Coach 1 blows the whistle again. Now, this time, when the last athlete from the gray group crosses the line, Coach 1 will stop the timer and record that time. So, when Coach 1 blows the whistle to start the drill, he also needs to start the timer, okay? And when the last athlete crosses the line on the 4th rep, he will stop the time, okay? Should be, pushed him pretty hard, okay? When they find out they're competing against other groups, that's going to raise the level of competition, and we should be getting some good times in, okay? It's important that you understand, though, that we do not blow the whistle until the last athlete from each group crosses the line. So, in other words, no 2 groups should ever be sprinting at the same time, ever, okay? The only exception to that is if you have one particular athlete that is just in extremely, bad shape physically, and they just cannot do it. You don't want to hurt the whole group because of one kid. At the same time, that's a rare exception. I've only had about 3 kids I've ever had to modify for in my entire career. And so it's not going to happen very often. I mean, most kids just have to suck it up and do it. But if there's one kid that just physically cannot do it, just don't count him, okay? It'll be the last athlete that crosses the line before he or she does, okay? But in most cases, everybody can do it, all right? And that's, just use your best judgment on that. Anyway, so that's set 1, 4 reps of 60. Now you'll rest. For week 1, you'll rest 1 minute and 30 seconds. On week 2, you'll rest 1 minute and 15 seconds. In week 3, you'll rest 1 minute. So as you can see, as each week goes by, the rest periods decrease, okay? Because the key to conditioning is not that you can, run for longer so much, but it's that you recover faster in between reps, okay? That's the biggest thing. We want to be able to recover fast because if we're recovered fast, then we're going to play fast. So that's why conditioning is so important. All right, so set 2 to organize. The only thing different, there's our 18 athletes again. They're little rows there, groups of 3. Coach 1 is still at the start-finish line. Coach 2 now moves up to the 40-yard line because set 2 is 4 reps of 40 yards, okay? But it's the exact same concept. Coach 1 is going to blow the whistle and start the timer simultaneously. Tweet, there they go. When the last athlete crosses, tweet, then he's going to send them back for rep 2, tweet. He's going to send him back for rep 3, tweet. And then last but not least, going to send him back for rep 4, tweet. tweet, and make sure Coach One records the time when the last gray athlete crosses the line. And that's set number 2. Rest periods for set 2. Week 1, you're going to rest a minute, 15 seconds. Week 2, you rest a minute. Week 3, you rest 45 seconds. And by the way, I'm going to send all this out to you each week, so you'll know exactly what rest periods and all that stuff that you're supposed to be doing for that week, okay? But just kind of giving you the gist of it right now. And then set 3, this will be the last set organization-wise. You got your athletes lined up, ready to go. Coach 1 at the start finish. Coach 2 now moves down to the 20-yard increment. These are 4 reps of 20 yards, okay? Coach 1 starts the whistle and starts the timer simultaneously. It's going to be quick now. It won't last, but probably less than a minute. Coming back, same thing. Coming back for rep 3. Like I said, it's going to be fast. And then rep 4, when the last athlete from the gray group crosses, Coach 1 stops the timer, okay? Now, after that third set, you're going to rest 1 minute, and then you'll begin the static flexibility routine, which we'll talk about here shortly. But 1 minute rest after that third set, okay? When the drill is complete, and this is important, add up the times from set 1, set 2, and set 3, okay? Add them up, and whatever your total team time is the sum of all 3 of those sets are your total team time. And what you need to do is report your team time to both myself and Coach Crumley. And what we'll do is Coach Crumley does a great job of running the Instagram page, and we'll post the results probably every day. I know at least every week. And we'll rank, see who's got the best times out of all the groups. So it's a fun way to compete during this time. You can also email your times, but we'll be out there. I know I'll be out there. So what I'll try to do is I'll try to combine, record everybody's time on a clipboard, and that way it'll save you some time. You won't have to send anything out. Anyway, the times we posted, like I said, on the Chest T Weight Training Instagram page, and the team with the best overall time for that week will get some sort of prize. Not sure what that is yet. We'll talk about it, but they'll get something. Anyway, those are the important notes. So that's the Georgia conditioning drill. Again, if you have any questions, just holler at me or Coach Crumley. We'll be happy to help you out. All right. We'll go to one more deal, and that's going to be the War Eagle flexibility routine. So I'll see you in just a minute for that.